They're easily the nation's favourite monster. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Dalek stories from Doctor Who. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at both classic Who and new Who storylines, which feature the Daleks as the main antagonists. Number 10. The Daleks. Their first ever appearance was in the show's second serial, after a much less memorable story about cavemen. The first Doctor, along with Susan, Ian and Barbara, finds himself on Skaro, at the end of a long nuclear war between the Daleks and the Thals.
No! It's a trap! Get out of here! Run!
The Daleks aren't quite the genocidal killing machines we're used to just yet, sealing themselves up in a metal city so that they can use static electricity to power themselves. But they were still radioactive mutants inside their casing. The serial's climax sees them, in standard fashion, try to wipe the Thals off the face of Skaro. Stopped by the Doctor, they develop the most bitter grudge in the universe.
Even if I wanted to, I don't know how.
Number 9. Asylum of the Daleks. The 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory are captured by disguised Dalek puppets and taken to Dalek Parliament, where they're tasked with infiltrating the asylum and disabling its shields so the orbital forces can destroy it from above.
This is new.
Forced to oblige, the three are dropped onto the planet and face a complex task, not in the least because a deadly nanocloud threatens their sanity if they're exposed to it for too long.
It's okay, it's just people in here. It's just people.
It's the nanocloud, it's altering your perception. Look again, those are people.
This episode was also the first appearance of Jenna Coleman, this time as Oswin Oswald, the trapped genius who turns out to be a Dalek herself.
Where am I? I'm human.
Not anymore.
Number 8. Resurrection of the Daleks. After not showing up for a while, Davros came back in full force after a sect of Dalek decide to wake him from cryostasis, so he can cure them of a deadly plague.
Release Davros.
At the same time, the Daleks are also plotting to clone the Doctor and use him to assassinate Gallifrey's rulers. And a Dalek schism has developed between Davros and his Imperial Legion and the Supreme Daleks renegades.
I shall build a new race of Daleks. They will be even more deadly. And I, Davros, shall be their leader.
The fifth Doctor isn't having any of this, and the story arguably became his darkest ever. So dark that Tegan decided to leave him after almost every other character ended up dying in the Doctor Dalek crossfire.
No, don't leave. Not like this.
I'm sorry.
Number 7. The Dalek invasion of Earth. People liked their first appearances so much, the Daleks showed up early in the second season, this time having abandoned their native Skaro with aims to conquer planet Earth.
Conquer the Earth, you poor pathetic creatures, don't you realize? Before you attempt to conquer the Earth, you will have to destroy all living matter.
Take them. Take them.
Seeing the Daleks roam around the familiar streets of London may be surreal, but don't underestimate their threat level. As well as seeing Daleks in front of Big Ben and hearing them scream "exterminate" at every opportunity, this serial also saw the first ever companion departure. Susan opted to leave her grandfather to marry human freedom fighter David Campbell, putting the blue box behind her.
Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye, my dear.
Number 6. The Power of the Daleks. It was make or break for Patrick Troughton in 1966, as illness forced William Hartnell to retire as the first Doctor. To get audiences used to the bizarre idea of recasting the show's protagonist every few years, everyone's favourite villain was brought out to ease them in, the Daleks.
They won't stop me experimenting.
This time around, they are especially sinister. After crash landing on the planet's Vulcan, yes, Vulcan, the Daleks pose as benign aliens, needing the help of nearby human colonists to prepare their ship while they breed an entire army in the background.
We are not ready yet to teach these human beings the law of the Daleks.
As well as being the first regeneration episode, it was the first time we saw the tentacled mutant within the Dalek casing. Number 5. Remembrance of the Daleks. This celebrated serial added a darker twist to the otherwise upbeat 7th Doctor, and saw Davros return after quite a long time away from our screens.
You have confounded me for the last time!
Davros. I should have known.
Set on the first episode's original 1963 air date, Remembrance is one of the best stories the show has ever produced. Doing what the 4th Doctor never could, we saw the 7th Doctor take matters into his own hands and trick the Daleks into blowing up Skaro.
You have tricked me!
No, Davros. You tricked yourself.
Despite being the final classic appearance of the Daleks, it also introduced their Elevate technology, showing one conquering their longtime adversary, stairs.
You are the Doctor! You are the enemy of the Daleks! You will be exterminated!
Number 4, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. In the 10th Doctor's explosive final outing before he said goodbye in a run of specials, we saw the Daleks embark on a plot to destroy reality itself with a reality bomb.
Testing calibration of reality bomb. Firing in 10 rounds.
Following a prophecy by the insane Dalek Khan, Davros and his ilk steal no less than 23 planets to fuel their terrible device.
Nothing can stop the detonation! Nothing! And no one!
This finale had all the companions up to that point uniting, including those from various spin-offs we hadn't seen before in the main show, as well as the creation of the Meta Crisis 10. Before his demise, Davros taunts the Doctor by making him think about all the people he's lost on his travels.
Never forget, Doctor! You did this! I name you forever! You are the destroyer of worlds!
Number 3. Dalek. The revival era's first attempt at bringing the Daleks back after their supposed destruction in the Time War certainly did the villains justice.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
We met a lone lost Dalek trapped and tortured in an underground facility, and thanks to Rose, we got to see them in a whole new light. After she accidentally revitalizes it, it goes on a killing spree and finally faces down the 9th Doctor, who can't quite bring himself to destroy the last Dalek.
I'm sorry.
Isn't that better?
Not for a Dalek.
After triumphantly declaring that the Doctor would make a good Dalek, the titular villain deems itself tainted by Rose's humanity and self-destructs. Number 2, Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. The episode Dalek was supposedly going to be the only appearance of these Salt Shakers in Series 1, but at the 11th hour they made their return at the end of Bad Wolf.
I will talk to the Doctor.
Oh, will you? That's nice. Hello.
After spending an episode in a seemingly unrelated story about futuristic reality TV shows, it turns out the Daleks were behind the whole thing, and they come aboard Satellite 5 to wipe it of life. We also see the Dalek Emperor leading the armies this time around, and for a while, it seems like the Doctor can't win.
Exterminate!
I kind of figured that.
He's only saved by Rose absorbing the entire time vortex and wiping them from existence, and is forced to regenerate in order to save her.
Everything dies.
Before we unveil our top pick, here's some honorable mentions.
If we do get the coordinates, what are your instructions?
Whoever is operating the time machine is an enemy of the Daleks!
So, anyone for dodgems?
Alert! Excessive electrical charge received!
Number 1. Genesis of the Daleks. It took until season 12 of the classic series for the Dalek origin story to finally become cemented and canonical, after being brushed over a few times before.
Exterminate. The weaponry is perfect.
The Fourth Doctor and companions Harry and Sarah Jane are sent on an errand by the Time Lords to stop the creation of the Daleks from ever happening. This episode marked the first appearance of Davros, their malign creator, as well as posing numerous moral quandaries.
Exterminate! Exterminate! No! Exterminate! No!
The Doctor can't decide if he has the right to stop Davros and change history, ultimately deciding he doesn't, making it one of the character's most powerful moments in all 5 decades of their existence.
But if I kill, wipe out a whole intelligent life form, then I become like them. I'd be no better than the Daleks.
Think of all the suffering there'll be if you don't do it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.